A writer, a medium, and probably the world's greatest detective walk into a haunted house. What sounds like the beginning to a terrible Halloween-themed joke has actually turned out to be one of the best films of the year. Kenneth Branagh returns to both direct and star in A Haunting in Venice, the latest film in his series following literature's classic detective, Hercule Poirot. Based off of Agatha Christie's Halloween Party, A Haunting in Venice finds Detective Poirot living the quiet life, retired in Venice, Italy. One day, an old friend convinces him to attend a seance at the home of a recently deceased young woman. While there, a string of murders occur, and now, locked inside the eerie mansion, it's up to Poirot to find the killer and either prove or disprove the hauntings once and for all. The basic premise is quite simple. The skeptic drawn to a case that seems to defy reason, and it's one that fans of other great fictional English detectives will no doubt recognize. Though A Haunting in Venice does not simply retread the same ground as previous stories of the same nature, taking a less black and white approach to the mystery, it chooses to give the audience both concrete answers to the questions raised by the plot, tidying up all its loose ends, while also posing some other ones, some philosophical questions, leaving some things open to interpretation. Thematically, it deals with themes of faith, of higher power, reason versus belief, and it portrays these themes in very subtle ways. Take, for example, the clock, which on the surface is just an interesting antique prop. However, its depiction of the temptation of Adam by Eve with the fruit of knowledge runs parallel to the story. Speaking of balance, the film walks the line dividing its dual genres, mystery and horror, brilliantly, never straying too far to one side or the other. For fans of the horror genre, there are plenty of frightening moments complemented by jump scares and unnerving performances that amp up the tension. It doesn't get weighed down by lengthy monologues crammed full of exposition or overly slow, methodical scenes of our hero piecing together a mystery, but chooses to keep the viewer on edge. For fans of detective films, A Haunting in Venice doesn't stray far from the mystery that drives the film and keeps the horror fairly tame, while no less scary. It chooses not to showcase blood and gore, allowing for the frightening aspects to enhance the drama rather than distract from it, letting the mystery at the heart of the film shine through. That drama was photographed in gorgeous classic style by cinematographer Haris Zambarloukos, who made brilliant use of real sets and locations. He lights his scenes in a way that is both harsh and precise, as well as soft and flattering, using a technique which has recently seemed to fall out of fashion thanks to the many new advancements with higher sensitivity cameras, LED lights, and the bane of classic cinematography, video wall backgrounds. Harris frequently used China balls when photographing his subjects, especially for mid and close shots on the actors' faces, which are paper lanterns fixed with small film lights inside. This creates a soft, diffused source that, thanks to the paper lantern, wraps around the subject with a slight fall-off, creating a gorgeous look for portraits. He also shows an attentiveness to framing and specifically the height of the camera, which often stays with Poirot's eyeline, keeping the audience feeling connected to him and only changing for moments when necessary, like when Poirot, who spends the film searching for answers, becomes a subject of inspection himself. Poirot is played brilliantly in this film by director Kenneth Branagh, who, though turned in solid performances in Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, really seemed to come into his own with the character, feeling much more comfortable and natural in the role by this time around, which is by far the best of the three films. A Haunting in Venice may not have the cultural impact of some films, the backing of the median critics, or the visual extravaganza of other movies this year, but it might still be the best of 2023. Though the year isn't quite over yet. Love horror and classic literature as much as I do? Then I've got another video that you just might want to take a bite out of.
I do not believe in psychics.